That is quite the epic introduction. I hope I don't disappoint. Okay, so it's like basically the crack of dawn. It's so early. I'm up here way out of my comfort zone, so I think it's only fair that you all get out of your comfort zone for a moment too. I want you to look at the person next to you, look at them in the eyes. Go, 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 look at them in the eyes and sincerely tell them that you love them. Tell them. You tell me, don't let me alone. I love you. I really love you. I love you. Good, okay, I feel much better. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going really lo-fi and I don't have any slides. Okay, Act 1, empathy. There's a long history of turning the lens on the underprivileged. Done poorly, it's voyeurism and exploitation. Done well, it's storytelling for social change. It's stories that help us build an emotional connection to social issues. There's people and there's data. Statistics and stories should go together. The most recent project that I've been working on is with a group of young guys with schizophrenia. So I'm going to reference that project a bit. Here's some stats. 1 in 100 people will experience psychosis. 30% of people who experience psychosis will kill themselves. It's in the top 10 causes of disability, and it's 10 times more likely than HIV. Not quite so stirring, alarming, but not so stirring. How about this? This is a transcription from a conversation with one of the guys who participated in the project. It's hearing voices that makes living in your world so challenging. They're not all bad, they just don't stop. When I'm dancing, they tell me I move like Michael Jackson. Can't really complain about that. But as quick as the voices build me up, they tear me down. They bully me. They know my weaknesses. One time I kept all of my allowance to buy pizza. The voices were screaming at me to buy the one with egg on it. I'm allergic to egg. I got home and I tried to throw the pizza in the bin, but they were so loud that I sat down and ate it. My flatmate had to call the ambulance. A little bit more stirring than statistics. I'm not saying stories should replace stats, they should go together. Through the ages, we've stepped onto stages, into books and films. We enter a world other than our own and we roam. We charter a character and we're off on an odyssey. We feel the world through their hands, we see through their eyes and we stand in their shoes. And that is how stories create social change. It's about empathy. Empathy is the first step. This is super simplified, but hey, I've only got 5 minutes. Empathy fosters harmony. Harmony fosters collaboration. Collaboration fosters innovation, and innovation leads to a world that works for 100%. Turning point. Last year I worked on a project in Dharavi slum in Mumbai. One of the women turned the camera around and asked to interview me. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to say? And then I was like, that's awesome, good on you for reversing the gaze. She asked me if I was going to commercialise her stories. She also asked me, who's going to see my stories? And there's a lot of things to do in Australia, so what are you doing here? I realised that inadvertently I'd been capitalising on people's stories, primarily the underprivileged, in the name of social good, because I was in a much better position to go off and grow my career based on the experiences I was having with these people. Maybe the burgeoning storytelling movement needs some innovation of its own. And that's why I started to get into participatory storytelling. Act 2, participation. Participatory storytelling is when participants learn about narrative, they learn different skills, and they represent themselves. So rather than me sticking a camera in their face and telling their story for them, I help them tell their own story. For most of us sitting in this room, purely based on the fact that we're here, we're probably not from socially excluded groups. But for a lot of people, participation, having a voice, being heard, is actually really, it's not something that they get to experience. The elderly, inmates, I wish I had time to tell you about the project that I did with inmates. The experience with them was transformative. They believed the negative identity that they had because they were inmates. They got to tell a story, put themselves as the characters in the story, and reimagine their experiences as a positive message for other people in their community. They created a story that would teach the youth from their community to learn from their mistakes. Back to the guys with schizophrenia. They are probably the most socially excluded people that I've ever worked with. Social exclusion doesn't necessarily mean you're like, oh, I'm on that computer. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're poor or deprived. It's more like what I said before about not being able to participate in society and not having a voice. This is another transcription from one of the guys from the schizophrenia project. Doctors need to listen more. Sometimes my voices are comforting. Sometimes the voices I would even call friends if I knew it wouldn't land me in hospital. You learn to say what doctors want to hear, but I don't care what their textbooks or billion-dollar studies say. Listen to me. Why aren't I the expert? And that's what participatory storytelling is. It's about positioning people as the experts of their own lives. By giving them control, we get a genuine storyteller's perspective. Plus, they're empowered through participation, not representation, which is the only solution to marginalisation anyway. I'm going to leave you with one more transcription. This is from another guy who participated in that project. You and Mel is the mind-blowing, amazing social worker that I did the project with. You and Mel giving me a shot to express myself like this probably means more to me than either of you realise. It makes me feel alive. Schizophrenia has cost me a lot. It's given me a lot too, but unfortunately nothing that's valuable in your world. My voice has been the hardest one to lose and I didn't even realise I'd lost it. You guys reminded me.